close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Matchday Live here at Shamrock Park. This afternoon, Portadown welcome Carrick Rangers in the Danske Bank Premier League. My name is Mark Beattie.
Hello, and my name is Johnny Dunlop. As Mark was saying, welcome along to today's Matchday Live ahead of today's Danske Bank Premiership game here at Shamrock Park between Portadown and Carrick Rangers. As always, today's game will be streamed live on We Are Ports TV Live over on 247.tv. That comes at a cost of £7. Today, Dave Wiggins is joined in commentary by former Portadown midfielder Peter McCann. If you want to head over there, get your stream bought and get set up early, I would advise that. It's a big game today, so we all hope that you're all going to be watching on from home and cheering on Portadown.
Absolutely. Also, if you get a wee chance here, if we're live on Facebook today for normally we're only on YouTube, but we're on YouTube and Facebook today. So like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube page, so you'll get all of our content in a notification. So yeah, take a chance to do that for us. The more subscribers that we have, the more content we can produce, etc. So yeah, big game here at Shamrock Park.
Definitely is. 10th against 11th. It's a massive game. We all know Portadown's recent record against Carrick Rangers hasn't been great. I think we've lost 7 out of the past 9. We've had 2 real hidings off them this season. So it's a real big game. Hoping Portadown can turn around that sort of hoodoo that they have against Carrick Rangers. The home form against Carrick isn't that bad. I was looking back last night. I think we've only one defeat in the last 10 games here at Shamrock Park against them. So hopefully that home form against Carrick can continue today and we can get the victory.
Yeah, we have the team news here coming up in a wee second, so we'll have a look through that now. There are 3 changes at both sides. We'll start with the home side. Obviously, Captain Luke Wilson went down with an injury on Tuesday night, so he'll be missing now, replaced by George Tipton. Sam Ward steps out and replaced by Adam McCallum, and Rory Crossgree steps out and replaced by Ben Tilney. So there's a couple of change of positions there. We expect Barney McCone to push up in the midfield and McCallum to take his spot at centre half. So a couple of changes there for Portadown. You have the changes for Carrick. I have them here. So 3 changes for the West side as well. Gordon, Cherry and Anderson come in to replace Ramsey, McMullen and Jenkins. So both sides showing changes from Tuesday night's game. Portadown played against Lauren on Tuesday night. Probably were well in the game, maybe haven't created a whole lot of chances before a wonder strike from Ronan Hill settled the game. Portadown with a wee bit of pressure later on in the game as well, maybe could have nicked a point. They were disappointed not to come away with anything from the game, whereas Carrick held Crusaders on Tuesday night at Taylor's Avenue, held them to a 1-1 draw with a superb strike from Cahir Friel. So both teams coming in off well, I was going to say off results from some of the bigger teams, but Portadown maybe could have got that result. Carrick did. So they're coming in with a wee bit of confidence from Tuesday night's game. Yeah,
I think Portadown probably were worth a point on Tuesday night. When you look back at the game, a penalty and a wonder strike sealed it for Lauren. Again, we have the privilege of being lucky enough to be here doing our media duties at the games, and while Lauren had a lot of possession on Tuesday night, for large parts of the game, they done very little with it. I can think of very few clear-cut chances that they created during the game. It wasn't until, I think it was mentioned with Dave and Neil on the preview show, Portadown didn't really wake up until the injury to Luke Wilson. There was an eight minutes of stoppage time there while Luke was being treated on the pitch, and I don't know if it lit a fire under Portadown. It gave them a wee bit of time to regroup and look at things. But from the game kicked off, then after that, Portadown got a grip of the game and were well in it. And like I say, I think we're worth a point.
Yeah, like you say there, Lauren had a whole lot of the ball but didn't do anything with it. For me, I don't put the blame on Lauren for that. I put the credit to Portadown. Their shape was good. They were checking their runners. They weren't getting pulled out wide. They weren't getting sucked into Lauren's game of the pass around the back and then they can get in behind you. So they done really well to hold their shape throughout most of that game. Like we said, there was the one wee lapse of concentration by Crossgrey who got sucked in during the play and then had to chase out to block across. Ended up coming off. It was the judge to come off his hand, so it was a penalty. So I was impressed with Portadown's general play. I know they maybe didn't dominate the ball, they didn't get a whole ream of chances, but their discipline was good, their shape was good, and they're going to need that coming into the rest of the season.
Definitely, and I know we seem to say it every week here, but the defence again against Lauren on Tuesday night was very makeshift. You have Barney McKeown playing centre back. He's a central midfielder. I know he played centre back during his time at Newry, but since he come to Portadown, he's been more of a central midfielder. And you had Greg Hall at left back. Yeah. Normally, Greg plays right back. So, luckily we're going through the team there today with Adam McCallum back in alongside Paul Finnegan and Ben Tilney returned. So it's more of a Portadown defence that we know there today, with Nathan Kerr, Greg Hall, and Paul Finnegan and Adam McCallum at the back.
So we have actual Portadown defenders today.
Yeah, Portadown defenders for a change. For how long you don't know, but for a change.
Going forward as well, you've Bonus and Sally who have been getting a real good partnership over the last wee while. They've been sort of getting together a bit more and they've been linking up a whole lot, so it's good to see them have a run of games together. You have Stephen Murray in behind them, who I'm sure will be down to get on the pitch to prove his worth as well. Yeah,
no, Adam Sally, he missed the early part of the season through injury and things like that, and I think it's took him a wee bit of a while to settle back into the team, to get his place back, and he's only really starting these past few weeks to look like the Adam Sally what we all know he can be, that he just displayed for us in the championship. So I think the partnership of him and Lee Bonus up front has looked very promising over the past few games.
Yeah, and I have to say as well, the substitute bench of Portadown for the first time in a long time looks really, really healthy. There's senior players throughout it.
Yeah, we were talking about it there before we came on air. It's sort of maybe one of the rare times this season where you have real quality to bring off the bench, of experienced players there. You have Stephen Murray, Rory Crossgrey, Ben Guy, Stephen Taggart, Sam Ward and Eamon Scannell. You could say arguably all those players could have been in the starting 11 today, absolutely, which we probably wouldn't have said many times this season with injuries and things like that. So it's a real strong bench and gives Matthew Tipton options during the game.
Yeah, we'll talk about Carrick then. Carrick always find it, for some reason, Portadown find it tough against Carrick. They seem to have that kryptonite of Portadown. So going through their side, they usually set up in a 3-5-2. They're them three big centre halves who are going to win headers. They're going to clear things away. They're going to get you into a battle. It's up to Portadown to find the answer to that. And the answer, in my opinion, isn't to scrap with them. It's to do your game. It's play your game. Run them into the channels. Them three centre halves don't like being pulled out wide. I know they have two energetic fullbacks getting up and down and stuff, but if you can catch them too high and try to get them centre halves pulled wide into the channels areas that they don't want to be in, that's where you're going to find your success. And in Bonus and Sally, you have that pace and that power as well, that running power that you can pull them wide. Yeah. And hopefully in a wide pitch at Summer Park, that's what Portadown try to do. Yeah,
Oisin Connolly as well. I think it'll be a big player for Portadown today with his pace. You're hoping that will unsettle the Carrick defence. I agree with what you say. Over the past half a dozen games or more, we seem to get pulled in to what Carrick are doing instead of worrying about our own game. And I think that is proven over the last 4 or 5 games that doesn't work. We need to look after our own, play our own game, and hopefully that will breed success here today.
Absolutely. Another player I always find, well, I've always heard a lot about, and it wasn't until our last game on Tears Avenue that I really seen what he was all about, was Lloyd Anderson. He really impressed me that night with his running, with his energy. He had a bit of quality on the end of it as well. So there's another player we're going to have to look out for in the midfield. Up front, Cahir Friel for Carrick has started to come into his own as well. He maybe had a rough start, couldn't quite get his fitness fitness sorted, but he seems to have got that sorted now. He scored a cracker goal during the week against Crusaders. He scored 2 against us last time up at Carrick, so that's a player we're going to have to look out for. He's not similar to Lee and Adam Sally on our side. He doesn't have maybe the pace or energy to get in behind the defence and down the channels, but what he does have is as soon as they get the ball in the final third, he comes alive. He makes them wee small dirty runs between centre halves and fullbacks. He looks for link ups from his midfield, and he's shown on Tuesday night he can pull a screamer goal out of nowhere, so he's one we'll have to keep an eye on.
You're right. Another one which probably is always on the tip of our tongue whenever we're playing Carrick is Keelan Loughran. He sort of seems to, well, along with Carrick, have that bit of a hoodoo sign over us. He scored his fair share of goals against Portadown. Over the recent meetings, he also has that in him where he can sometimes unsettle players. You know, maybe pull them into making fouls or reacting to certain things. So I think he'll have to be looked out for as well today by the Portadown team. Maybe don't get pulled into the game that Keelan maybe wants to play today. But as I say, we shouldn't be worrying about Carrick today. We should be worrying about ourselves, playing our own game, what we know, what we're capable of, and banishing all these recent results against them, put them to bed here, and get a victory and go forward on into the season.
For me, today is all about mental fortitude. It's about who can mentally stay in their own game plan, in their own team plan, rather than get sucked into anything else exterior. So be strong mentally, do your stuff, do what you're here to do your job, as they say, and I've no doubt that we have the quality to overcome this, but they just have to show that mental fortitude.
I think you're exactly right. I think the mentality today is a big thing.
Absolutely. So here, listen, we'll take a wee short break. We'll hopefully have Matthew Tipton up here to chat to us as well. But as I say, on this wee break, get on the 247.tv/NIPrem. Purchase your stream for this afternoon with Davey Wiggins and Peter McCann on commentary. And if you can, like and subscribe to our YouTube page and Facebook page. Thank you, guys.
Lovely day for it, wow.
Absolutely is. Good afternoon and welcome back to Matchday Live here at Shamrock Park. I'm joined with today's co-commentator and ex-port, Peter McCann. Peter, how's things?
Brilliant. Thanks for having me, guys. Really great to be here. Great to be back on the old stomping ground. And what a day for it. What a great day for a game of football.
It's changed a wee bit since last time you kicked the ball.
It has indeed. It has indeed. That old stand over there was that was the main stand for us back in the day. But here, some facilities now we have at Shamrock Park. It's fantastic.
Looking forward to the game today?
I am indeed. Look, it's one of them games. Both sides maybe lacking a bit of confidence in their play. Portadown, seeing them and watching them in the past while, they've been doing well and playing well, but just not getting the results, getting the rub of the green. It's difficult for them, coming off the game the other night. It's probably the most positive performance that they've had. Also a bit of a blow to the injury to Luke there, looks like it's going to be crucial. Put him out for, you're talking maybe the guts of 9 months. It's very disappointing, but it's a good basis of a game to come into today. I think that the players should be confident coming into today, and they should go and take it to this Carrick team.
Yeah, the two sides are equal on points. Carrick seem to have the sign over Portadown this year. They beat them both times they played, so it's up to Portadown really to take it to them. And you're at home at Shamrock, you should be confident here.
Yeah, definitely. This is the way we were, in our time, Shamrock Park, nobody liked come and play here. And I think it's still the same today. Although maybe the results for the lads this year haven't been what they've expected at home, they still play well here. They know the ground, they like the pitch, it's their home ground, and they have to go out today and really stamp their authority over the game. Carrick have a bit of a hoodoo over them this year. Time to change it today.
Absolutely. Well, listen, if you want to hear more Peter McCann on co-commentary today with Dave Wiggins, get on the 247.tv/NA-Prem and you can purchase your stream for £7. Get doing it now before 3 o'clock here so you can sit back and relax and watch the show. Thank you very much, Peter.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Matchday Live. I'm joined here by Portadown manager Matthew Tipton to talk through his team here today ahead of the Danske Bank Premiership game against Carrick. Thanks for joining us, Matthew.
No problem, Johnny.
3 changes to the team from Tuesday night against Larne.
Yep.
Out drop Luke Wilson, Rory Crossgreen, Sam Ward, and then come Adam McCallum, Ben Tilney and George Tipton.
Yeah. Luke, obviously, we know, injured. Just had the report back this morning, so he's done his cruciate ligament. So we know now, guts of a year for Luke, which is unfortunate for the lad. These things happen in football, we're disappointed for him, but now it means that somebody else is going to have to step up to the plate today and going forward. Rory Crossgreen rolled his ankle a wee bit the other night, and he came off with that, so it was a 50-50 call. But then when we've Ben Tilney back in the squad, we thought, we'd be silly not to use him. And then with Barney, we thought we'd move him into the middle of the pitch. From centre half where he played the other night. So Sam unfortunately missed out, but we just felt Barney could give us a little bit more defensive cover.
We're sort of lucky we'll have so many players that can play in different positions at the club. You're talking about Barney there, for instance, has come in and filled in admirably at centre back the past 2 games. Greg Hall, for instance, playing left back the other night. It's been a real help in a season where teams been ravaged by injuries.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to bemoan injuries and things like that and make excuses, but we knew it was going to be tough, and we know it is tough. But see them out there, they've not been one complaint off them. There's not one complaint from any player when I ask them to either play out of position, or some weeks they're not in the team. But I don't do anything. I always say to them, I don't do anything out of badness. I don't pick or not pick because of anything. I do it today. This is what I think's best. Some weeks it works, some weeks it doesn't. And Barney, I think performances the last 2 games done really well, but obviously Adam is a recognised centre half, so I'd be pretty silly not to put him back in when he's fit, when we've only 2 recognised centre halves at the club, in Adam and Paul. So we've just got to now today make sure that the boys are ready. They know what's coming. As I said to them before the game, and no disrespect to Carrick or Dungannon, they're the only 2 teams below us in the league, and we've 2 home games. We have to win both games, and there's no humming and hawing about that. And I know we talk about performances regular. On any other given day, and sometimes we're judging ourselves against teams that are way above us by our performance, because we're not always going to beat them. So we're having to see how far away are we. When we look back at the Larne game the other day, when we think back to where Larne were in the Championship 2 years ago and where we were, they were way ahead of us. Where I think we've brought that gap down, even though they've gone full time and they're in the Premier League, and we're newly in the Premier League. If you think of the 2 games we've played with Larne this season away and Tuesday night, we're a lot closer to them now than what we were in the Championship, which sounds strange even though they're way above us in the league and everything else. Of course, we understand that, but we can see the movements that we're making, and we have to judge some weeks that is our performance getting closer to where we need to be to compete with these clubs, and that's what it has to be. But days like today, results only count.
Yeah, you're right. It's a big game here today, but as you say, the performances over the last few games, bar Glentoran, which we talked about last week,
yeah,
the 2 wonder strikes and stuff, but haven't been far away. And like you're saying, that's performances against teams that's in full-time set up or almost full-time set up in the likes of Larne and Crusaders and things like that, where we haven't been far away. It's been the odd goal or a bit of unluck, like we were talking Larne here on Tuesday night. It's a penalty and a wonder goal that wins them the game, but it's games like this where it's not only performances but it's results that matter as well.
And this is where we've got to be judged. As much that we want to be in the top half of the table, currently we're where we are. The only way we can do that is by beating teams that are around us. We know it's going to be tough today. We're not silly. We've been beaten twice with Carrick this season up there. We've got to see an improvement in what we do today in terms of how we defend, but we've also got to show the attacking prowess we showed up there, because we were good going forward, but we weren't very good at the back. Boys know what's coming, and this is, like I say, this is where our bread and butter is, if you like, today in these games. Teams around us that are tight. What we have to do is the 2-1s that we've been losing, we've got to turn that into a 2-1 win today.
Well, listen, Matthew, I'm going to let you go and get your team talking all sorted.
Good man.
Thanks for joining us. We're going to take a break here and be back in a moment. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Matchday Live here at Summer Park. Good chat there with Matthew Tipton. What was he talking about?
No, he was sort of going, I know we've lost our last 5 in a row, but bar the Glentoran game, we're talking about the Glentoran game where we beat 4-0, but it wasn't really a true reflection on the game, and he was sort of saying, we're playing teams like Larne and Crusaders, teams that's in full-time setups, and it's been the odd goal, or like here on Tuesday night we were talking about Larne, they won it through a penalty and a wonder strike, and we haven't been that far away and competing. But he was making the point that, it's the Carrick Rangers, the Gannon Swift games, that this is the bread and butter. It's the result needs to match the performance here today, and he was trying to get that point across.
Right, we'll talk about this every week, and I said this to you, and you mentioned to me that before we came on. Pick a player of the game, both sides, that are going to have a big impact, and you're not allowed to pick bonus.
I'm going to go with Adam McCallum today for Portadown. I think he's probably been Portadown's player of the season for me, alongside probably he who we shall not mention this season. I think Adam's been brilliant, and I think he'll have a big say in today's game. He'll have to keep Caffer Friel quiet. As I say, he's come in for a bit of form these last 2 weeks for Carrick, so I'm going for Adam McCallum. And for Carrick, Cialan Loughlin, if we can keep Cialan Loughlin quiet, I think we'll do all right today. Funny saying that about a central defender, but the impact he's had on recent games, I think he's one that we need to watch.
For me, I'm not going to pick one player for Portadown. I'm going to pick 2, and it's the midfield too. It's George Tipton and Barry McKeown. I think those 2 need to have a really good game today, because they're coming up probably against a 3-man midfield of Carrick, and if you're not careful, you can be the 3-man can toy about with the 2 men. You need to be energetic. You need to get about the pitch. You need to get your positioning right, because 3 men can overwhelm the 2. So you need to be careful. On Carrick's side, again, I mentioned him before, but Lloyd Anderson really impressed me the last time we played him. So his energy in midfield is going to be tough to compete against, and you're going to really have to. The 2 wide men are going to have to work in and help out them, the 2 centre midfielders. So for me, it's a team. It's hard to pick a player out of Carrick for me because they are a team.
Yeah,
you know,
they are.
Every time you play them, they either play well together or they all play bad together. You know, they are a team. And maybe that's credit to Nal for building that sort of camaraderie within the side, that they all play for each other. And we're going to have to do it today. There's going to be times in this game where it's going to be rough, it's going to be back against the wall, and we're going to have to come out a bit together as a team. So leadership, we're going to have to have leadership through the two centre halves as well, because they're your focal points, I think, now that you have them back. You know, you have them two guys in there that can lead and drive on your team. So hopefully they can do it. Prediction? I'm not giving one. I can't today.
Cheers for putting me on the spot. I'm going to go for 2-0 Portadown win.
Okay. I think we're getting a 5-0 here from
Dave Wing's going with 5-0.
And listen, the pitch today, and looking at that pitch, I said it on Twitter before the match, if you can't play football on that pitch, you can't play football.
That's a
you know,
great surface.
It's a fantastic surface for this time of year. I know there hasn't been all that much. Well, there has been a lot of football, to be fair on it. Goldmouse are looking fantastic. So listen, it should be a good game. Get on to 247.tv/NAPrem. Purchase your stream for £7. Be at home, put your kettle on, cheer on the porch, and hopefully we can come out with the points today. All right, thank you guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.